let us welcome Mr. Travis Clapp. Okay, he is the co-founder of Coursebox an innovative startup dedicated to revolutionizing the way online courses are created and delivered. Travis and his team at Coursebox are developing AI-driven solutions that include AI tutors, AI assessors, and AI course design. These tools enable sophisticated course creation and seamless publishing across various platforms, including existing learning management system, LMS. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the honor of welcoming Travis Clapp. So the screen is yours, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Travis Clapp, and I'm the CEO and a co-founder at Coursebox which has been 9 years in the making. I thought I'd start by talking a little bit about me and my journey. Now that I've reached the ripe old age of 47, I studied computer science and mathematics, and then in my 20s, I actually moved into an acting career and studied musical theatre, and then I went into art and sculpture and painting, and that's what you can see there on the left, some of my earlier works from that time, and then you can actually see a painting more recently of my wife and our dog there on the left. So just talking about that dichotomy in my life between the arts and computer science and mathematics. In my 30s, when I turned 30, I actually went and taught English to children in South Korea. So I really started developing a passion for teaching. And I came back to Australia, did my master's in interactive multimedia at the University of Technology, Sydney, and developed, I think because of my background, quite a special interest in instructional design, which is the industry I've been in for the last 15 years. Now, on the right, you can see some of the designs I was doing 15 years ago. So designing courses in SCORM format for learning management systems for corporations like McDonald's and hospitals and Guzman y Gomez, and even the Gulf Association in Australia. And around that time, mid-30s, I moved into IT consulting, web development, and in particular platform development. So the last 9 years, I've been building at first a learning management system, and the last 3 years with a new co-founder, I've gone a hard pivot into Coursebox, artificial intelligence, and course authoring. So this is where I'm up to in my journey, and I thought that might bridge the gap a little bit between the technology that we've been talking about, which can be quite heavy and maybe daunting, but also I'm a teacher as well and an instructional designer. And I've worked in every area you can imagine, from corporations to higher education to schools. Most recently, I actually consulted at an all-girls school in South Australia on what they're trying to do with moving gently into artificial intelligence, but also overhauling their existing technologies. So what is Coursebox? Really exciting. I love this product. I hope you do as well. It's about rapid course creation and delivery. You can use it on any platform in any language. And it's more than that, as alluded to. So it's virtual tutoring, it's virtual assessments. So I'll just introduce my co-founder as well on the right, Alex Hay from Perth. I actually met him online, a bit like online dating, right? We met through the Y Combinator California matching service where you can find a co-founder. And it turned out that he was also in Australia, so that worked out really well. And he's really good at marketing, whereas I'm passionate about the product and the education side. So that was a really good fit. If any of you are in business as well, it's great to have a co-founder after 15 years prior working by myself. So yeah, I worked for Open Colleges, Adelaide University. We built out the first massively open online courses with EDX back in the day, about 10 years ago. Adelaide Airport, School of Audio Engineering, you name it, I've worked across the industry a lot. And Alex comes from more of a B2C background in marketing. So I like this image. I often say this was me 15 years ago as part of my pitch, because we've been doing an accelerator program in Perth. It's obviously not me, but the idea is true. So 15 years ago, building all these different courses as an instructional designer, I would work with subject matter experts and collate back and forth with all the content that Johnson and Johnson might already have, or a school teacher might already have, and convert that into online training. And it took months. It was a big process. Part of the problem, as well as communication and collation of materials, is to try and put that into an agreeable outline. So one of the first things we've solved is, how do you create a course outline in 30 seconds? So we've done that. And then the next question is, well, can you consolidate 1 to 3 months of work in instructional design down to as much as 10 minutes? Well, with our algorithm and with instructional design, yes, we think we've done that, and you can do it in any language, thanks to the magic of open AI and how we can sort of integrate that with API and all of the, I don't want to get into too much technical jargon, so I'll stop there. But here it is. We've got a box, right? Coursebox AI, and you can put all of your documents into the box, all your ideas. And we have a designer in that box. So we're a virtual designer. We've got a tutor. So you can have a chatbot for all your students in any language on any topic. And it's so easy to build. And we've got an assessor. So you can ask students to upload an essay or just write a paragraph about a case study. And in 10 seconds, it'll use a grading rubric and give feedback. So very templated, useful, in-depth feedback in 10 seconds. So that's pretty cool. That's what Coursebox is all about, those 3-part solutions. So again, the first part is we've got a 4-step process, and you can create a course, you describe it, you say the language you want, how big, how many pages do you want, how many quizzes, how many assessments. And yeah, that's that process. So you can get that high-level design it's a virtual instructional designer in a box, right? And then it will go and write all of the pages, all of the quizzes, all of the assessments in 10 minutes. And, as the last professor alluded to, check the work, refine it, make it more beautiful, because you'll be putting it out there to your students. The second part is this AI assessment. So as part of that first 30 seconds and 10 minutes, we will create case studies. Right, so that can be used in so many different ways in the classroom, and it makes a more personalized course each time you generate one. And it can generate those rubrics. So whether you manually want to grade some work and just keep that consistent, or if you want our AI to do it for you, it's going to have that consistency for all your students. And it's super quick, so it saves you lots of time and money and lets you get on with doing other tasks, right? And the third part is this tutor. So we've spent a lot of time and effort on making a personalized chatbot. And so you always got that. And you've probably seen all those often quite boring, rigid, PowerPoint-like sort of online courses, and you might have to do them as a teacher when you're doing your own onboarding into a new school. It's like click, 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 get through but sometimes you actually want to learn a bit more. And so if you've got a personalized chatbot, let's say it's Bob, and you can ask, and you can ask in your own language, you're going to have a better learning experience. Now, because we're LMS agnostic, so you can use any platform, and because perhaps you can do it in any language, we're in 181 countries. And it's just been crazy the last just 14 months alone, watching that expansion. So there's the map of where all of our clients are. And what makes us a bit different to a lot of the competitors is that it's extremely fast, to create a course. And if you go into, let's say, another LMS or something like Blackboard, you click through about 15 different things, and maybe you can use a bit of AI on your content. Whereas ours, right from the beginning, it just makes it so simple and easy. And you can try this yourselves because it's a freemium product. So we currently have 60,000 course creators, and it's growing 20% month on month. We get a new 1,000 users every week. It's free to use, so you can jump on. You can even follow along now, because I'm about to do a demonstration, coursebox.ai. Now, On the right, you'll see, is it engaging or it's boring? Well, it's very engaging because you've got that tutor your students can easily chat with and learn from. We've got this text to video option, a bit like Synthesia, HeyGen. Well, we're building our own. So you can have this virtual video teacher on every page, makes it more engaging. And of course, all of the things like drag and drop and tabs and all the interactions, you can do that as well. So this is our big statement. Canva took down Adobe, arguably, in many ways. And that's often where you'll reach. Instead of Photoshop now, you might go to Canva. Coursebox is looking at the big players like Articulate 360, which is often where you might reach to create an online learning. So this is the 4-step process here. So the first step is describe your course. Step 2, upload all of your documents that you want. Your course, so that's how we call it, training the AI or the brain of our system. Step 3, well, who's your student? Describe it, because it's very different to have a 15-year-old boy in maths class in Algeria to a 27-year-old professional on a mine site in Western Australia. So describe that in step 3. And step 4, how many pages do you want? That's how simple it is, and we do the rest. And this is the sort of course content you might get. So this is a registered training organisation in South Australia. They use our platform to roll out compliant content. And you can see that they've used this text to video. So on every page, the learner has this video engagement with, it's a fake person, it's Rosetta, we've given her a name, a face. And then on the right, we've got the chatbot as well. So Rosetta can answer any deeper questions. And in this case, it's about responsible serving of alcohol. But you can imagine using that in a myriad of ways. All your learners really have this in their pocket on our mobile apps, because we have free mobile apps as well. You can just completely engage there. Now, I talked about all languages. Well, that's the beauty of using OpenAI, which is what created ChatGPT, that whatever language they support, we support it as well. And it's so exciting. Some months we see 30% of all courses in Arabic, in Jordan, in Oman, in Saudi Arabia. There's a huge uptake in Southeast Asia here as well. And over 50% of our paying subscribers are in North America and Europe. It's LMS agnostic. So a lot of course authoring tools, let's say you're using Udemy or Thinkific or something, you can't just plug and play that into other learning management systems like Moodle or Blackboard, and often you really need to. So because we have LTI, Learning Tools Interoperability, it means it can just sit in any learning platform that you have. We've also got SCORM 1.2 or 2004. So you can export the course, you can put that as a box, wherever you want, as an iframe. So I'll show you what that looks like. If you've got just a web page and you want a free course resource for students to jump into, or in your classroom, they can just click into it and it's just on your website. Really easy. PDF, you can export it as a PDF, or just a share link. Just send an email and you can ask people to jump into your course. Here's an example of compliance. So, the old way of doing compliance in Australia, and I'm talking about registered training organizations, is you see all these pen marks, they're trying to map it and make sure they're really compliant. Maybe they go to ChatGPT to create an outline, then they go to another piece of software. This does everything for you, just all in one solution. Just upload your document, describe your course, and we'll do the rest. So great for compliance, onboarding of teachers in a school, certainly for generating lesson plans or just more face-to-face engagement in a classroom as well. And I've put on the screen here just a few ideas around that. So you can create resources really quickly for on-demand classroom activities, or a quiz, or an assignment. You can create automated grading with those assignments, so you save a lot of time. You can save hundreds of thousands of dollars in schools and universities. And virtual tutors, so you've really got that ongoing 24/7 support. And as teachers, we can't be there all the time, so it's great to just have that guidance, whether it's a chat bot on your phone or it's a more interactive. So one of the really cool things you might not know about is called Hey Gen. They're releasing this new feature, which is just like me talking now. You have this video teacher experience, and I think that's where things are moving, actually. Okay, so I'm going to jump into a live demo. How does it work? Let's go through it. So there's two ways you can use Coursebox. The free system, or the solo expert, is called my.coursebox.ai, and you can jump in there and create courses in our community. Or you can have a fully branded installation for your school. So you can have your branding, and here's another, I'm just trying to move that block. Here's some different branded installations, any language. Our platform, you can change it to Arabic or Thai or whatever you wish, and you can build those courses there as well. Now I'm just going to create a course. So I'll click the plus, click courses, and I'm in. In fact, the default here, I've just set it to Thai, but for this demonstration, let's go with Australian English. Describe your course. Well, let me think. Teaching English in South Korea for 14-year-old students. So this one's not going to be for students, but it's going to be towards teach the teacher, let's say today. I'm not going to upload any documents, but this is where I would do it, or I could paste in a website. And then who's your learner? I'm going to say it's, let's say, new teachers in South Korea, aged 20 to 30 in Hagwons. I don't know how to spell that, but that will do. And then how many lessons? So this is how many pages do you want for this online learning? I'm going to create 3 lessons. A lesson's like a chapter. How many topics? Well, how many pages in each one? I'm just going to make it a short course this time. So we'll just have 3 pages per lesson, just to give you an idea, but you can make that 100 pages. In fact, yesterday we had somebody in Germany building a course that was 840 pages in 12 lessons, and it's supposed to take 2 hours to complete. And that was using 160 documents. So that was quite an effort, all in German. And we click next. Now, the first 30 seconds, there's Bob, our little robot friend. He's going to go and generate our outline for us. And we'll just wait for that. And then once the outline is generated, that gives us an opportunity as learning designers to edit that, add in more topics, add in more lessons, quizzes, and make sure that's really good and ready to go. Now, while that's loading up, I'm going to go to another tab, and I'm going to show you some of the other features of our platform. So in the Coursebox community, as I say, we've got 60,000 in our community, and it's growing every day. This is what you can do if you white label our platform. You can have your own community as well, with messaging, with profile pages, and you can build these out, and you get your own dashboard. And we can have a look at my dashboard here. You can add in your experience, education. So a lot of the things you can do with a learning management system, but you don't have to do a branded version. You can just use the courses and put them into your learning management system, as I described. You can build out your own course library as well. And if we look at this other portal here, we can see an example, like I say, of a course that's a bit further along. And we've got Rosetta in the HITSA course, who's going to present each page as we go through.
Understanding the definitions within the liquor licensing.
And in this case, we've used HeyGen to generate videos from text, and we can generate those scripts. We've also used Synthesia, another great video creation tool using AI, and we have an integration with Synthesia. So all you have to do is paste in your API, select the script on each page, and it takes 10 minutes because it takes a while. It'll generate a video on each page. And then on the right, well, I can just ask, well, what are the learning objectives for this course? And bang, I've got that interactive chatbot experience. Or I can just, and they can ask in any language. Tell me in Thai, please. Let's see what she says. There we go. So now we'll probably have this conversation in Thai. Sawasdee krap. I mean. And then here's another one. So for 9 years, we've been working with Adelaide University, and you can see they have a news feed that you can engage using this platform. You can fully customize all your colors, logos, and you don't have to use Moodle if you don't have a learning management system. This actually has an LMS built into it as well. So it's one of the only AI course authoring tools you can put anywhere. And if you want, you can upgrade and have the full LMS as well. And you can see that they work with the World Health Organization as a collaboration center and teach doctors 24/7 all around the world using our platform here in how to manage addiction. So that's a good application in the medical world. I want to show you a branded version in a different language. So what you can do, not that I can read what this is saying, don't read Arabic very well, you can change the language of your platform, and you can also generate courses in different languages as well. You can really change the theme and colors and styles, not just of courses, but of the platform itself. And there we are. I'm just coming back now to the demo. And what you can see is it's generated our course outline. So we've got the course title, Teaching English in South Korea for 14-year-old Students. Easy. Description, learning objectives, and then we're going to teach to those objectives. Course tags, that makes it easier to search with. But then the most important part is creating this course structure. So the first part is a rigorous way to just get your students, or staff in this case, onboarded. So introduction, competencies, what are the applications of this course? What's some further reading links? So we have an integration with Google for that. Then it goes in and it breaks it down, much like you would see in ChatGPT, but we've brought in instructional design first principles for adult learning and for younger learners as well. Then it's drafted quiz question, assignment, and it repeats that process based on your advanced settings. When you're ready, you just hit the bottom button, save and generate, and whatever language you've selected, in about 10 minutes, you'll see every page is just magically written. And it should start showing us the courses there. What else? Oh yeah, you can see that starting to write in the background. And it does take about 10 minutes, but the results are worth waiting for. Now, it's a course authoring tool. So the first step it does is on every page, it will write the course content, then the quiz, then the assessment. But on the right there, you'll see that you can add in image galleries, files, video galleries, and slideshows. So even this presentation that I've been doing today, I can just copy this link, in fact. So share, let's do that. Why not? Public view link, copy that, go into my course, click on slides, paste that, and you can beautify any page very quickly. So bang, look at that. I've got my Canva slideshow in this course page. It's finished generating the text. I can even, so this is really good for blended learning, isn't it? And there we are. We've got my presentation embedded into the course really easily. I can see that I'm running out of time, so I'll wrap up shortly. And I set my own alarm clock, so I think I've got about a minute. There's a button here for audio, so it will just read out the text on the page to your students. You don't have to upload text to make it a bit more usable. I'm going to jump ahead here because I'm running out of time to this area. So it will generate your quiz questions automatically. You can add in more by using this quiz writer tool. It will generate your assignments and it gives immediate feedback. So I can upload a Word document and in about 30, you can see it's actually writing the assessment as we're talking. But and my grading rubric down the bottom, you can edit that. Students can upload, automatically will generate those assignments, and it will go into your gradebook as well. So you can see this is an iframe on a web page, but it's the whole course. And in here, I've got a case study, I've got a grading rubric, and you can actually find this. If you go to our website, you'll find this example. You can play around with it. I click submission here, and you can see 3 months ago, Alison wrote her response. The administrator, using AI, graded that automatically using the rubric. So understanding, application, critical thinking, and that's gone into the gradebook. And if it was synchronized to your LMS, it will go into your gradebook. So how can you use AI, and where's the future of this? Well, you can see, I hope, that there's a massive benefit for teachers to save time and engage your students using these tools, tutors, assessors, creating resources on demand. You can see there's a gamut of uses from government, corporate to teachers in schools. What are the trends we're seeing with AI? I think it's moving more and more to this sort of video-based interactive engagement. I think robots are going to be in our houses pretty soon, and they're going to be teaching us probably maybe more practical skills. Certainly, and finally, I think we're going to have teachers in our pocket, more general AI like we were talking about. It's going to be a very exciting future ahead. And where are we going? Well, we're creating more and more of these engaging chatbot and video-based learning experiences. Try it for free today. If you or your organization want to have a meeting with me for a proper demo, we can do that absolutely. Thanks very much, everybody.
Okay, thank you, Travis. I really love this course box.
Great.
Because for your information, Travis, here my friend and I, we are all together. We are six of us here. We are doing our online instructional design course with the Illinois University. I think if Simeo Wrexham can have this course box for us, it will ease our job to do our assignment.
Great. Yeah, it
Okay.
definitely speeds things up for
Yeah.
instructional designers.
Yeah. Sure. I will go for the free demo for
.ai.
Coursebox.ai. Okay. What are some best practices for ensuring that AI tools are used effectively without losing the human touch in teaching? So
When I
please.
wrote when I wrote my final paper for my master's degree in about 2010, it was actually about cyborgs and cyborgism. I don't know, that saying that we're already all cyborgs, whether we're taking Panadol as a kind of a technology hybrid human experience or using mobile phones. And I think that we're very much in the cyborg era as far as hybrid experiences with artificial intelligence. And it's really, I think it's actually quite hard to separate now. It's such a part of our lives as teachers, as educators, but also as students. I think we have to move forward. You know, as Sreko said, maths teachers walking out saying no calculators, it's not going to help us, banning AI. To keep it human and real, I think it's really important to hold that perspective. And I don't think always just banning things and saying don't do it is necessarily going to help. We have to just embrace it, work together, keep it human. The first time I experienced this sort of thing was in that same master's degree. I was asked to watch 2 hours of video instead of going to a lecture. And the idea was that would help me because the lecturer was then freed up for an hour and a half to walk around the room and be more engaging and human with all of us students. And I rebelled against it. I hated it. I thought it was terrible. But I ended up getting the best subject grades ever in the way that worked with that flipped classroom model. So it was a bit innovative, I think, for the time. Uh, and I think it's the same sort of thing. You can flip classrooms around. You can work in these hybrid ways. You can put some students perhaps in front of a scenario-driven, video-based interaction, and you've provided the guidance and guidelines. And at the end, have a discussion or a critical analysis. Maybe, and I think this is one thing that you can do in schools as well. We talked about this last year at that all-girls school I was talking about, that you bring in critical analysis and more human reflective activities. Why don't you compare these three different ways of using AI and interacting with it to solve a solution? And then we talk about it and really think about, well, what was the best solution for you and why? And I think that's one way that you can embrace it, but also keep it very human as well for educators, but also for the students.
Okay, thank you, Travis. It's good actually to hear from the expert on the AI tools. All right, we go on to the fourth question. So all the three of you, we hope that you can answer this question. Looking ahead, how do you see AI shaping the future of education, both in terms of content delivery and student engagement? Travis, any
I think if,
response from you?
yeah, I think if we think about augmented reality glasses, I think that's an interesting case study where if you just sort of, a kid walking around uh, a mechanical workshop, and as you look around, it's using AI perhaps to read out what the objects are. Or if I'm in Malaysia and I'm trying to learn French, and I give that signal to the AI in augmented mode, and it can show me the words, le beurre and so on. When I see the butter on the table, maybe not that useful in that context, but I think there's some really interesting applications, and in particular in medicine for that sort of augmented reality. Oh, that's the spleen I'm supposed to cut. Oh, that's good. Hopefully the surgeon knows what he's doing though. But certainly for training scenarios. So I think that's one example. There's just so many, and there's a lot of fear around AI as well, that it's going to hold dominion over us, or that students are using it to cheat, and are they going to learn those critical skills and actually be able to write anything, or is there going to be a laziness that sets in, and we're all going to live in the Wall-E cartoon future? That is a risk, and it is worrying. And that's why I think more than ever we need to teach critical thinking earlier, so that we can objectively sit back and think. And why is it important that I actually do practice and learn how to write and communicate, moreover, well in the future world?
Okay, Dr. Shreko?
So they say that it's good to have a panel where people disagree, so you can have some kind of discussion. But I think we all agree here that we should embrace AI in an ethical and way, in a way that would give equal access to everyone. So I think that's the reality. And I like Travis' example with those augmented reality glasses. And we have seen recently Meta released new glasses that are actually one step closer to where we might want to be with that technology. But OpenAI also, I mean, not but OpenAI also released the voice interface to ChatGPT, which will also change quite a bit how we access and interact with the AI. I think that's a great feature because we don't want to type all the time, and we are used to talking to our teachers and interacting with other humans. So having that opportunity to interact with AI in a more natural way will take us closer to what has been there for ages, that dialogic or Socratic learning, where we actually interact with AI one-on-one and ask questions and get answers in real time. I also like what Travis showed in terms of how we can personalize learning in a way. Because dialogic or that Socratic learning is not as easy as it sounds. If I ask Travis to teach me statistics 101, no matter how much I enjoy talking to Travis, at some point it might become difficult to explain all the concepts in words. So we will have to create on the fly some of the content, which we actually can do at the moment. So the content, although some parts and bits and pieces of the content can be pre-generated because they are common across the board, they can be actually now created on the fly. So all that being said, I think we will, as educators, we will have more time to dedicate to our learners and help them develop all those human skills that I mentioned in the presentation that we actually value as society. So yeah, I think we will have, I hope we will have more time to focus on that human-centric view of education.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think we agree that we have to embrace AI in ethical ways. Okay, the last one, this is very interesting. Some argue that AI could stifle human creativity and diminish critical thinking skills. How do you respond to this view? And what strategies can educators adopt to ensure AI enhances rather than limits the development of students' thinking? Okay, let's hear from Travis first.
Yeah, it's interesting. We actually touched on this quite a few times already, so I'll try not to repeat what's already been said. I think giving students exercises certainly where they do need to reflect on, I think problem-based teaching is probably the answer. And Elon Musk talks about this in his school he set up as well, that it doesn't, you can use, maybe give all the tools, go for it, use Grok if you want, but you need to get to this end point because this is the problem you're trying to solve. And then we want you to use some sort of critical thinking and reflect throughout your journey. And I'll be here as a teacher to help you do that. And that brings in that human aspect as well, so that we're all accepting that they're tools that we're working with rather than something scary or something dangerous or even something as far as plagiarism, unethical. So I think if we work in that direction, that's probably the way I would go about it, and ensure those critical things. Because even now, like I was in a party the other day, and somebody said, "Can you just like generate a picture of us all as unicorns because we're all businesses?" And about 3 seconds later, I just typed it in, uploaded my photo, and suddenly we're all in a party as unicorns. So there's a lot of creativity, in fact, that's emerging from GPT and these tools as well. But I think we can have fun with that and accept it for what it is. But maybe I need to make 15 different pictures of unicorns and select the best one and then edit that and go into. So I think it's not going to diminish creativity necessarily.
Okay. So, Dr. Shreko, any comment from you?
I have a few colleagues here who work more in creativity than I do, and definitely know the area much better than I do. And there are different opinions how to what extent AI is or is not creative. I think personally that AI can just help um, foster our creativity in so many ways. But the great question is around critical thinking. We see that a lot of developers now use tools like ChatGPT to when they write the code, right? So if I'm coding something, I can just ask, hey, how to write this for loop or this or that, and I will get the answer. Two important points there. I need to know what questions to ask, and if one thing comes out of all these interactions with AI is that we will learn how to ask better questions. But the second thing, I disagree that we don't need to learn coding anymore. I think we should, and we should start even earlier, because it's not just about learning how to code in Python. It's about learning how to solve problems. It's about learning how to think critically. So all those topics around critical thinking, problem solving should probably come much earlier than they do now. And it will allow us to interact in so many more some better ways with AI. So yeah, I think let's start with critical thinking, problem solving as early as we can.
Okay, so Prof. Liana, the last one for you.
Okay, I think for this question 5, right, actually it's a challenge to the educators. Um, the most used, I think, AI tools for students is ChatGPT now. They can ask questions there. So we are trying our best to give a hot problem, critical thinking problem, but they can use ChatGPT to answer that. So it's a challenge actually in education now. So what strategies can we adapt? Can we embed? So we need to be creative. Educators need to be creative in preparing the assessment, in discussing the content. So what I do, so we try to give like project-based, case-based project assignments to the students, but we will have for them to present whatever that they do in the project. They need to present to us. Then we can give them questions verbally, let them answer. So even though they might use, AI tools to prepare all those things, but they should understand it. So if they understand it, then okay, our learning objective is achieved. Okay, that's from me. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you to all our speakers today. To me, I think we should have another round of discussion because I think this is a very good webinar for today. And I hope that everybody in this webinar has an insightful knowledge and perspective, a new perspective on AI. And to wrap up this interesting discussion we had on this artificial intelligence and how teachers can use it to their advantage, we would like to thank our esteemed panelists for sharing their insights and expertise with us today. So now I will pass to our MC. Thank you.